because the responsibility on resource allocation lies with you, we would want, number one, to consider our request for at least taking care of some of the very critical things as highlighted on our 7 priority areas. So if it were within part of what we would want to see is that we plead with the committee to help us get the resources that would allow us at least to deal with the 7 priority areas that we've highlighted. So, of course, number one is ability for the officers to be able to run the new administrative units that we are going to put up that are yet to be operationalized. And then number 2 is the issue of mobility for our officers. So this, because the budget line is run by the National Treasury, it means that there has to be a communication with the budget committee so that this is somehow taken care of. It's not a budget line that is domiciled within the State Department, but that consideration will be very critical for us. And then for the budget line to support the chiefs and the assistant chiefs, so that then we can be able to get them the motorcycles that would allow them to move. The issue of the Kenya Coast Guard, I think we would need to have a follow-up session. And it's also important to report that we have a new Director General for Kenya Coast Guard Services, Mr. Bruno, who is also part of the team here. And there's a lot of support that is needed for him to operate and provide the services that the unit was set up for. Thank you, Chair.
I think it is a promise you have given us that next time they will generate enough revenue to stop being funded by the exchequer. I want to take your word to the bank, because I was wondering why some sagas still depend on the exchequer while they can generate their own income. Finally, on the security roads, Chair, I must say, I'm a very happy woman today, and I want the PS to hear this. You know, they just commissioned 300 NPRs in Laikipia last month, and the boys are doing a superb job. So if only you add us those security roads, I can tell you, you can withdraw some policemen from Laikipia North, bring them to Nairobi to handle Akinaliza when they go back to demonstrations.
The 7 priority areas are very critical. You know, this is the ministry of the government. Where we are today, the whole government of Kenya is here. And I think we need to, you know, give priority to this ministry and the departments so that services can be delivered to Kenyans. You know, just 3 days ago, I was in Mandera. Unfortunately, the DCC was asking me my CDF vehicle so that he can use, you know, and attend a function. Very unfortunate. They have those problems. When your ACC travels by Matatu, you know. So I think the critical, I'm happy that you have identified the 7 priority areas, and we need to budget for these areas so that, you know, the bad picture that is shown on the ground is totally, you know, eliminated. About the administrative areas, we have sub-counties that are now new. Unfortunately, the DCCs have no residential. They have no offices, and we need to allocate. I think as we sit as the committee, we will be, you know, looking at these priority areas so that at least the funding can be increased in these critical areas, the construction of administrative areas, operationalization of the gazetted sub-counties. I personally have one that is, you know,